Hi, this is Sivakumar. Today I'm going to explain about servlet lifecycle methods. Actually, before the session, uh, we have seen this. Just I'm going to repeat this, then I will explain servlet lifecycle method. Right click on project name, run on server. Next, then finish. Actually, the reading servlet and register.html. So with this field, by using the form action, you are going to get web.xml. Here object will load and created, then access it will go to servlet, and servlet contains this field. By using request get parameter, we are getting those things, and by using the print writer out, we are going to display these things. Last time we unable to read the checkboxes data, right? uh, these things are multiple, right? Why we are going for checkboxes? We can select minimum one and maximum all, right? So this purpose we are using checkboxes. So now these are multiple, right? So we should store in array. So by using request.get parameter, we are getting that values. Request.get parameter values we are getting by using that name and storing into string array. If you store string array, how can you return? By using for loop, right? Then now I have used for each loop and I'm displaying in a table. So now we have run that program. So where is web.xml? What the URL? So and UI register.html, right? Enter here register.html. Now it's displayed the name and email ID, then address, whatever. Then I have selected two things, again register. So now you have seen like English and Hindi. See, actually the registered data I can store or I can retrieve by using this also, the latest one. Otherwise you can store in you can display same format, register, and check here. So two languages I have given, English and Hindi. The server encountered condition that prevented fulfilling the request condition. So no problem, lang. So language, right? Just refresh, or you can repeat it, no problem. Server is running, server is running. Then you can enter all things and register, fill display, run this. Or if you click all also, register. So this is what we had uncompleted last video. Now we have completed. Let's see today. Today topic is life cycle methods. So what are the life cycle methods in servlet? Three types. First one is initialization, then service providing services, then request response. So destroy method for removing the objects of servlet before the web container. So the methods like public void init servlet config will be there, and throws servlet exception. Public void service method contains two things: servlet request and servlet response, throws a servlet exception and IOE exception. Then destroy method. These three are the lifecycle methods of the servlet. Then today I am going to specify about ServletConfig. ServletConfig is memory, and it contains a key value like a map. Those key and values in string format. Actually, these three methods provided by Servlet API. These are abstract methods from Java Servlet interface, and actually before that we are going to learn about early loading and lazy loading. So early loading or lazy loading. Lazy loading, until the first request comes, object is not created. Until the first request comes, object is not created. That is lazy loading in Servlet. Until the first request comes, object is not created and not calling the init method. So that is called lazy loading. So on first request made by the web client, web server creates the objects to the servlet class and calls the init method at same time. So this is also called as lazy loading. So first request will always slow, means takes time to create object and call init then service method. Second request onwards, service will be called, then get the response from the service method. For example, if you go for email, your inbox contains lot of requests, right? So then I can go for eager loading or early loading. So we are less using things are Dropbox or settings in setting space. So these we are using less. Then I can go for lazy loading. Few mostly used things I can go for early loading, or less or rarely used web pages I can go for lazy loading. So we can default it is negative value. If it is negative means, so that is lazy loading. For example, how you can represent that lazy loading in Servlet means, in the web.xml you can write inside the Servlet tag load on startup tag. That startup tag contains positive and negative value. Negative means it represents the lazy loading, or positive means it represents early loading. So that's about the lazy loading. If you go for early loading means server startups only, or you can say before making the first request, the server creates objects to the servlet class and call init method also at a time. So this is known as early or eager loading of the servlet. But the programmer should provide load on startup tag with the positive number. Default value for load on startup negative -1, so that is representing lazy loading. We have seen already. So now can you repeat it? What is early loading? On server startup only. And server started means before the first request it is creating the object and calling the init method. So that is called early loading. Before the first request, if object is created and calling init method is called as early loading. Until the first request comes, object is not created, that is called lazy loading. So see once servlet tag, within the servlet tag we are writing the servlet name and the class name. That means a servlet object creation by the server, and if you give a load on startup tag, that represents the eager or early loading. If it is positive number, that represents the eager loading. If it is negative number, it represents the lazy loading. Then servlet mapping is used for providing the linker. So this is about lazy loading and early loading in servlets. If you go for that loading, priority, so order. So servlet A, if I given positive number 15 and B 25, C 10 and D 5, E 6, F 4, G minus 1, H minus 9. So here the what is the first priority means it is first going to early loading 4 may this one less, right, and 4 fast, then the second one is 5, then third one is 6, fourth one is 10, then sixth one is 25, and the fifth one is 15. So these are positive numbers, right, represents eager loading. If it is minus means negative means it represents the lazy loading. There is no need for the priority in the lazy loading, whatever because first request comes only object creating, so that's why its default value is -1. There is no priority. Next servlet config. I will explain through the programming. Close. So actually servlet supportive object memories. Those are two: servlet config and servlet context. As linked instance and static variables in class, in the same way servlet has two special memories to store key value format. Instance things we can represent by using the servlet config. For static we can represent by using the servlet context. Servlet config is created for every servlet class. One config object cannot be accessed by other servlet object. We can compare like instance variable. Servlet context, it is a common memory created for all servlet objects. Actually these both are temporary memories. Both holds data in key value format only. By default key value is string type. By using servlet config we can get servlet context memory link, because for all config only one context. But using servlet context we cannot get servlet config memory. There are multiple config memories exist. Config memory exists if servlet object is exists. Context memory exists even server has 0 servlet objects. So those are regarding to servlet config and servlet context. So servlet config method here the tags will be like in the servlet tag you have written load and startup, right? So in this way we can write init param. Init means initialization, param means parameters. The parameters we are passing to init method. I will explain through the example. File, new, create a dynamic web project. ServletConfig config. Next generate web.xml, also called as deployment descriptor. Actually this init method calls only one time, service method calls many times, and the destroy method calls only once. So ServletConfigExample folder structure has created a SCS tool, then go for web.xml. So web.xml contains this whole code. I can represent these things to later videos. Now what is the tag? Servlet tag. Within the servlet tag we have servlet class and servlet name. These two tags or for creating object of servlet. It will created by web server. Then servlet mapping. Servlet mapping contains two child tags. Servlet name and URL pattern. So this is the structure. Inside the servlet tag, load and startup, you know, right? I explained already. Load and startup for representative lazy or early loading. So now I am going to do early loading, giving positive number, right? And here for represent the servlet config, see now I will create one servlet class, new, select servlet, I have created. extends what? Generic servlet. What are the methods should write inside the servlet class? The methods init service. Let's try, right? So public void init. So inside the init method, to supporting memories, servlet supporting memories, what? Two things: ServletConfigExample, servlet context, right? So first thing is what? ServletConfig reference config I have given. So that ServletConfig contains values that we can get by using getInit parameter. What? getInit parameter. So that way I can show you config dot getInit parameter. getInit parameter. So can represent name. So yes, name something. So I can store represent string by string. That value can show here. Can show in the console. So I am going to print this value to console. This is service method. So for confirmation purpose, from service method. Okay. Let's see this example. For this, where we are going to give that values, the servlet tag, right? Servlet tag, what we have to write? Init param. Init param contains two child tags, param name and param value. So init param. So that init param contains two child tags. Let's call as param name and param value. Param name and param value. So s name value is what? Key is s name, value is what? C bar I have given. Servlet name, class name. You should give fully qualified name, means package name and class name. Now how can you run this program? Right click on project name, run as server. Now you can see in the console, so name has printed, web.xml I give a name, yes name, and value Siva. Now Siva got, and then it will call the service method. First init method calling only one type, then service method now see, right? So this is for first one request. For multiple values, how it is going to do, I will show this thing. So now the init parameter, how many values you are showing, passing, those values we can write inside the init parameter. And here SID, so I have given three values with the three names, right? And here what code I have to write? So multiple values, right? For getting multiple values we should use collection type, right? So for using collection, see how it will be, I will show you. So what is this method? This method is init method, right? Init method. I can show in kind of what happened. So action type enumerate, by using enumerator we can do these things. So enumerator, enumeration, looking discount not extension, what it has shown. This config ServletConfig object contains the values what we have given in the web.xml. Means the config holding object values, then config dot get init param names, param names, then enumerator changes to enumeration, then how you can retry. First we should check whether the element is available in that object or not. For that purpose I am using while loop. It has stored in names, right? And this names dot has more elements, check after one by one retrieving purpose. Reiterate all the values by using next element name dot next element. So this is storing string is equal to. So now these I can print by using system.out println yes separate csc dot sorry where we have stored configure dot get init parameters of this. Now we can see those all values. Right click, run as server, then finish. Okay, what is the URL? This one, right? So ServletConf provides what? Provides a method to read data at a time, that is called enumeration. This is from java.lang package. Sorry. Use while loop over enumeration to read name and its connected values. So we can use these values from init method name value name value name value. So in this way we can retrieve the multiple values from the ServletConfig object. So this is about the ServletConfig. The next session I will show Servlet context. Till the time we can repeat whatever happened all the sessions from this tutorial.